if you ask me, like, do I like being famous? Yeah, I do. I don't mind it at all. I actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And when someone says,
good for you.
I'm sure there's times where it's taxing on my family. It definitely is. We were at Target the other day doing a road trip, and someone got on the loudspeaker and was like, the machine is in the building.
Yeah.
And I heard people scream.
Yeah.
And my daughters got really upset. And Leanne went and chastised the manager and was like, yo, he's with his family. He's trying to have a moment. And I was like, let it go. Who gives a shit? What's up, brother?
Are you a YouTuber?
No.
Streamer?
No. I'm just a comedian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, can you tell us a joke?
Yeah, when I was 22 years old, I got involved with the Russian mafia. How's that?
I don't really get it.
I'm trying to think of a child-friendly joke I have. I don't know. I don't got one for you.
Oh, I just wanted
Take
to
care,
ask
brother.
I just want to ask if you were a YouTuber or anything. Cause...
No.
Oh, okay.
Just
Bye.
a comedian.
All right.
Sorry to let you down, brother. Have a good one.
Kids can be so cruel sometimes, huh? The sound of disappointment in Bert's voice as he tried to pretend he's not a YouTuber really does tug at the heartstrings. He's just a comedian. But there's a deeper meaning in there which I think is really interesting. I'm not going to go down the whole social media changed everything routine, but I will say there are countless celebrities in adjacent fields who have turned to YouTube to get that ad revenue, and as a result they've found an audience which isn't typically their bread and butter. So for comedians like Bert, Andrew Schultz, Tim Dillon, Theo Von, they're comedians first and foremost. Some of them are actually quite good comedians, but they blew up on YouTube, not on the stage. So does that make them YouTube comics? I don't know, and does it really matter? Well, take someone like Shane Gillis, for example. Where does he fit into the Rogan comedy universe? Most of us know him from his awesome, not-so-secret podcast on YouTube and from his regular appearances on JRE as well, but there's something different about Shane Gillis, because I definitely wouldn't call him a YouTube comic. For me, he's a straight-up-and-down stand-up comedian, and that's what makes him so confusing to everyone.
What is your one bougie thing? What is your one thing that it's like?
Oh, that's a great question
Yeah,
for
I'm
you.
a little bit like I wouldn't want people to know. I'm a little bit
I don't
embarrassed.
care if they know. I have first class flights.
Have to do first class so you can read your Steinbeck. I was really impressed with that.
Shut up.
Okay, but what's the other bougie expense? Is it like, okay, obviously the comfort of first class. Is there anything you're like, ugh, I didn't know that I was this guy, and then you experience it and you're like, now I kind of have to be this guy?
No.
Really?
No.
Hotels, you don't care? You don't have to stay at a nice hotel?
Hotels.
Okay, so we're going to find a lot of
a
things.
little. But no, it was like, I thought I was like, I don't care where I stay. And then I got in the worst hotel possible.
And it's like, no.
I like called my manager and I was like, all right, can we, what the
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking like the worst hotel possible.
Yeah.
Like motel, like you park in front of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you demand right now?
Nothing.
You have a rider?
No.
Any snack? Any snack?
I can't
Nothing?
figure you
In
out.
my green room, I get fruit and hummus.
Hummus is good.
And
Solid.
Bud Light and White Claws.
Solid.
But that was just my manager came up with that.
I cannot figure it out. I can't figure you out.
Why?
That is a rider, but he's saying he didn't come up
I
with
didn't
it.
do that. She just did it.
She knows. But it's a nice luxury.
Yeah.
Nah, but it's like,
What else?
you want steak dinners. And
Well, I want chicken and steak because
No,
I
just
don't
get
want to just
pizza.
eat.
you see the
I
difference.
don't want to eat pizza.
Yeah.
You
That's it.
see
I
the difference
understand.
between hummus and White Claws?
What do we start with?
Between-
We have a hummus platter that's
Hummus
there all the
platter.
time.
No, you start with that. His whole rider is just hummus and White Claw. So there's a difference.
So what are you ordering for dinner?
That's what I'm saying. It's like that is crazy. What's going on here?
What are we talking about?
Nothing.
There's got to be one. You've got some money.
no,
There's
no.
got to be a thing. Nothing?
He's embarrassed to be remotely demanding.
I would never be demanding.
See?
Out of shame.
Ever.
now.
The
I mean,
perception,
hopefully I get there.
the perception of bougie is
But I'm
worse
not
than the
like-
perception
I
of
like
gay.
it.
Oh,
for
that's
Shane.
interesting. That's okay. So
This is I have one pair of pants. These shoes stink. I've been wearing them for 3 months.
that's a 3-month white sneaker.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So for the average YouTube comic, it's hard to understand why another comedian just wants to do his own thing his own way, without all those bells and whistles, without all the behind-the-scenes cringe. You know, those documentaries they make about themselves and feed to their thirsty fanboys who love being spoon-fed cringy content, celebrating every single moment of their idols' lives.
I said, one day I want to headline Madison Square Garden. And I remember you stopped what you were doing and you looked me in the eyes and you said, I'll see you there.
Wow.
And it was like really important to me because I felt like I wasn't the only person that believed it could happen.
Wow.
And I know as you get older, you know, sometimes things become hard to remember, but I remember everything.
No offense to Schultz's father, that's obviously a very special moment between a father and a son, don't get me wrong, but shouldn't that be a private moment? I mean, the multiple camera setup, the close-ups, the music. I digress. Anyway, so then how is it possible for someone like Shane to benefit from the Brogan effect, but still be considered an old-school stand-up comedian who is widely respected in the YouTube community and in the stand-up comedy community alike? Can he have it both ways? Well, yeah, I think he can. So let me explain. This might take a while.
They say that socially important comedy is the only comedy that's necessary, the only comedy that you have to do. That is just because they suck.
Yeah.
That is it. It's like the cop-out is that they can't do the real comedy. They can't crush. It's not like someone goes from being, you know, like Shane Gillis, one of the best comics up and coming right now. He's fantastic. I can't recommend enough seeing that guy live. I work with him in Irvine, and I hadn't seen like his whole set. I was crying. I mean, he's so good.
I heard he's
so
a racist, so I haven't listened to any of his material. No.
He's so good. And his comedy is just trying to be as funny as possible. Yeah. There's not a chance in hell that guy's just going to go woke and is just going to start promoting some sort of, you know, socially conscious agenda that's, you know, facetious and just a bunch of nonsense that he's trying to elevate his own personal brand and virtue signal. That's not going to happen.
So that Rogan interview was from about a year ago on episode 300 of the Lex Friedman podcast, and I think Joe actually captured the essence of Gillis's style of comedy really well. He's just trying to be funny. There's no social message, there's no underlying moral to his stand-up routines. He pokes fun at everyone and anything. No one's safe, right? But I think that's the simple answer to the Shane Gillis equation, because I think sitting behind his mask of simplicity is a well-educated deep thinker. I mean, the guy went to West Point, then played football, then went and taught English in Spain. Most stand-up comedians crawled out of a trash can and stumbled onto a stage. Now, this video isn't some Shane Gillis biography or tribute to the man or anything cringy like that. What I'm more interested in is the difference between Shane Gillis and someone like Bert Kreischer, and what makes both of them so unique and odd, yet still kind of part of the same world. On the most recent episode of Bertcast with Chris S.D.N.Y, which was actually recorded at the beginning of September when Shane Gillis's latest special was released, they dedicated a whole segment of that podcast to discussing Shane's special. Now, for my regular viewers, this is yet another example of Tom and Bert's obsession with banking episodes and drip feeding them to us months later. I mean, seriously, it's 2023, guys. And one of Bert's signature moves is to use any opportunity to discuss what it's like to be famous and how much he enjoys it. In the intro, I played that clip of him telling S.D.N.Y about being famous in Target. His family didn't like it, but he was like, just chill, it's all good. And so this was the back end of that conversation.
Okay. We went and saw Queen with Adam Lambert, and we were backstage. We got backstage passes, and they saw Sandra Bullock. And my daughters lost her, and my wife lost her, and they wanted to go up and get a picture. And I had to stop them and say, "Hey, she's just here watching a show. Let her have her time." They forget what that's like when you're in like rural, when you're in Coos Bay, San Francisco or California, and you're at a Target and or wherever we were, and you've never really met a famous person, and all of a sudden you find out that someone you've seen is in the building.
Yeah,
it's thrilling.
It's cool. Yeah,
but Shane it's about to happen to Shane.
Yeah,
man, most of this podcast was just Bert talking and S.D.N.Y saying "yeah" in 50 different ways. But that's how they got into the discussion about Shane Gillis's special, which, like I said earlier, was released on the same day they recorded this podcast.
I heard Shane's special hours, like one of the best hours in years. It's amazing.
You know, it's so funny. I just watched. I put it on in the gym. I only watched the first 5 minutes of the special. I've seen that special probably 30 times.
Like actually live.
Seen it,
right?
But I've never seen the front of it. I've never seen it from the audience
Because you're seeing it at the end.
No, because I watch it from side stage.
Oh, got it.
I've only seen it from side stage, or I've never seen his facial expressions.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was so animated.
Yeah.
And
He's a great comic.
I watched it and I went, oh, this is really phenomenal. I texted him. I was like,
yeah.
I texted him this morning.
It feels like, I was talking about this last night with Andrew Santino. It feels like Shane's special coming. I think it came out today. At midnight, right? Like that's one of those specials that like you already know. Like it's getting him to the next level, even beyond what he is now. Like it's already like it's just happening.
I remember watching this the first time and thinking, geez, Bert really does have to make everything about himself. He didn't actually want to talk about Gillis's special. He was more interested in telling everyone that he'd seen it way before them multiple times and that he texted Gillis to congratulate him on the special as if he's like Joe Rogan or Jerry Seinfeld or something. And that was the frustrating thing for me because I wanted to hear DeStefano's take on that special. But Bert simply couldn't have that. What we ended up with was a humble brag compilation starring Bert Kreischer.
Here's the deal: is like I've taken him out with me a number of times. The Super Bowl to Fully Loaded, both years. I've been with him a lot. I've watched the audience receive him at different times in his career. And when we were at the Super Bowl, I thought this is something's happening. Like I can sense it. So I've seen it happen for me. I've seen it happen for Tom. I've seen it happen for a lot of different people.
Right.
And when we did Fully Loaded this year, it was crazy.
They went nuts for him.
And I went, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, this is about to pop. And he had just taped his special. And I was like, how did it go? And he gave me like a nod, like,
Good.
I got it.
Good.
And so it's and I think it's a perfect storm. I know this isn't stuff that he would want to hear said about him, but like I think there's a huge pushback of people going like, you don't tell me what's funny.
Right.
And the audience members.
So I can appreciate what Bert's saying. He's trying to give his own perspective, being one of Gillis's close friends and colleagues, but the way he frames it is like, yeah, everyone's just seeing this now, but I knew all of this all along. I was there when it was happening. It's almost like he's trying to participate in Gillis's success in a way. You know, I helped him out. I put him in front of my audience. I discovered him. Now, I know a whole bunch of you are watching this right now and thinking that I'm exaggerating. I feel that. Don't worry. Trust me. I hear you. But I need you to hear me out here. DeStefano is about to make actually quite a profound point here, which I thought was really insightful and fit in nicely with what we heard Rogan say earlier with Lex Friedman. But just watch the way that Bert derails DeStefano's thoughts and then proceeds to, yet again, make it about himself.
Well, Shane's one of those guys, in my opinion, he's funny in any generation. Like some guys are getting, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I might even be one of these guys that like, maybe I'm only having a little bit of success because of the generation.
No.
But I'm just saying, like, he's definitely not though. He's like, if it was 1950, he'd be where he's at. Versus
I
if
think
it was
he'd be progressive if it was 1950.
right. I'm saying like he's not a it's not like because of TikTok or
No.
it's like he's just any algorithm, any medium, he's just going to the top. So that's good.
I think he's
good to see.
There's a lot about him that I would break down that I think make him very funny. But number one, and across the board, is he's actually a really great comedian, and it's a great hour. I watched like the beginning, and then I put it on mute and watched it and read it as I worked out. I'll watch it again. I've seen it before, but I told him, I was like, this is gonna be.
So did you guys know that Bert has already seen Gillis's special like 30 times? Yeah, he saw it before you and me did, 'cause celebrity. So instead of engaging with DeStefano's attempt to actually say something about Gillis as a comedian and a man, Bert finds a way yet again to talk about how famous he is. Seriously, you could not make this up.
He's not going to like what it does to him.
Right.
It's sadly,
So
a guy like me doesn't mind it because I'm always been a little bit of a.
You're like life of the party.
I like to have a good time, and if you ask me like, do I like being famous? Yeah, I do. I don't mind it at all. I actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And when someone says,
good for you.
I'm sure there's times where it's taxing on my family. It definitely is. We were at Target the other day.
Man, DeStefano was working hard in this one. No, seriously, watch how he reads the room, quickly realizes that Bert isn't actually interested in talking about Shane. I mean, remember, this was the day his special dropped 2 months ago, and DeStefano nails it here. He's low-key roasting Bert, but he's also just trying to keep the conversation flowing. He's a smart cookie, this DiStefano kid. I like him more and more each time I see him.
Everyone in every Walmart and Target he's about to be their favorite.
That is you too. Like they should just put your face in the Target sign. You're a fan. You are Target.
He is, and I'm curious to watch that because like Tom definitely pushed back from it and was like, I do not want to be recognized. He told people, don't come up and talk to me.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting to see how people deal with it. Ari's like that.
Tom's interesting because I feel like Tom will have the arena sold out in the town and could walk past the arena in the middle of the day and there might be people that don't say anything to him. I mean, his fans will go crazy, but it's like he's done a good.
Fans won't give him.
He's been able to do so well and also maintain his anonymity well as well. Like he's at the top of the game, but yeah,
we've had people come up to us and they'll recognize him and think it's me,
right?
And they'll be like, "Yo, you're Bert," and he'll be like, "Nope."
Yeah,
he's like, "No, you're the Kool-Aid guy. I saw you in the Kool-Aid clip," and he'll be like, "Nope." And then I'll walk up and they'll be like, "Shut the f up! Wait, is he the bald guy on the show?" And and we went to NASCAR. He maybe got recognized like 5 times. I got recognized like 500 times.
I believe it.
And he was blown away. But I think he also didn't put himself out on social media the way I do. I'm all over TikTok. Like it's just a way you approach.
Yeah, it depends what you want. It's like your method is right and his method is right.
There's
it's just
nothing
what
wrong
people
with
want.
either one. I kind of wish I'd played his game a little bit.
Right.
Because it can be overwhelming.
So let's just pause for a moment to appreciate Bert Kreischer's social media game. This is the latest clip that he's posted on social media as of recording this video.
You ready?
I don't like his dazzles on a line by itself.
You want to do this where people aren't talking?
I would move a titch of razzle dazzle to the next line.
I know how to get her to stop
Special
talking.
festival and a world tour.
Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Nashville, Springfield, Little Rock. I'm coming this week. All right, you can talk again.
So actually,
It's next week.
Have that first sentence.
But it did shut her up.
And then hit return.
Man, that is some Mr. Beast level engagement right there. Bert really is a social media genius. He's just so creative. But I'll tell you what, in my travels through podcast country, I found this little gem hidden in episode 169 of Two Bears, One Cave with Louis C.K., where Bert discussed how much he's helped Shane Gillis come up, but he also made an interesting observation about Shane, which he thinks is a weakness, but Louis C.K. thinks is actually a strength. I actually found this really interesting.
The hardest I've ever seen Shane Gillis kill.
Mm-hmm.
And Shane's
great. Yeah.
There's no way to, the only thing I can quantify, I like to see him blow up the way he's blowing up, and I like to see him get more confident with his material and take bigger chances. I like that.
Yes.
But the best thing about Shane was when I first met him and he was just like an open micer, and you saw the funny thing that he didn't know was funny yet.
Right.
And you go, oh, this guy's funny.
Yeah, he's a little a victim of his own act a little bit. Like he isn't altogether comfortable up there, but I think that's good.
I agree.
I think he needs to stay that way.
He got a standing ovation opening for me at the Celebrity Theater. He got a standing
great
ovation.
Great.
Oh, yeah. If you're Shane, if you're me and you got to go up next, you're like, oh, am I going to put on 2 shirts?
That's all good
am I going to take off 2 shirts? Jesus. He didn't know he was getting
That's good for you.
He goes, man, Shane, hand behind his back. All right, thanks. And they stood up and he went, no. And then he looked around and he started walking off. We're like, go. You're getting a standing ovation.
Yeah.
He destroyed. Me and him are doing, we're doing the Mullet Arena.
Mullet Arena?
In Tempe.
Oh, that's great.
We're doing, it's funny. I'll say, look, obviously.
Is it a sports arena? How big is it?
It's 5,000.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's great
size.
Hockey.
Yeah. And so we're doing February. I mean, I have to be honest and say it's a testament to Shane and Mark Normand.
Yeah.
Is I put them on the bill, a year ago and said, hey, let's go to the Super Bowl. It's the weekend of the Super Bowl. I said, we'll do a show Friday night. Mm-hmm. And then I definitely sell tickets, but these guys are blowing up sitting now at a clip that we're doing, I think, 5 nights.
That's great.
I honestly don't say this lightly. It's kind of mean, but Bert really is a disgusting person. I didn't plan on saying that, but after working on this video, listening to hours of podcasts and putting together all these clips, man, you need therapy, bro. Seriously, you are a classic narcissist. I really didn't want to be saying this because obviously it's a really mean thing to say, and feel free to disagree with me in the comments and offer a different opinion, but I just can't take him at face value anymore. He seriously can't get through 2 sentences without talking about himself. Like, he can't just say, Shane Gillis is a great comedian because of X, Y, and Z. I like how he does this, I like how he does that. Everything always has to end up being about how famous Bert is and how he was there for everything, or how he knew all these things before everybody else did. His whole persona is exclusive Bert. Dude, if you're watching this video right now, I don't hate you. Honestly, I really don't. But bro, you need to get a grip. You're unbearable at this point. We all know you're a good dude inside, but you just need to chill and take a step back for a minute and just smell the fresh air instead of your own farts. And I'll tell you what, you guys have probably noticed something. Where are all my clips of Shane Gillis? You know, breaking down his approach to comedy, how he writes, his process, how he views the industry, how he views himself. Where are all those clips? Well, they don't really exist. I mean, there's plenty of clips of Shane on podcasts and all that, but he rarely talks about himself, and when he does, he gets really uncomfortable. He just lives in the moment and talks smack with his buddies. And for that reason, I was like, maybe I shouldn't make this video. There isn't really enough here to compare Bert with Shane, but then I realized, no, that is the video. That's the point precisely. It perfectly captures the nuance of their differences. Shane Gillis is front and center at the moment. We're seeing more of him. He's going on more and more podcasts. He's blowing up. But he's still just Shane. He hasn't turned into a grade A narcissist like Tom and Bert and, Tim Dillon, Andrew Schultz, because he's not continuously talking about himself. Here's a perfect example for you. Recently, people got annoyed because they saw Shane Gillis wearing an expensive Versace shirt at an event. I think it was like a UFC event or something like that. I can't remember. But I don't get that. Who cares? The guy's got money. He flies first class. He's got a few expensive shirts or whatever. That's not the problem. See, most of us don't really care if these guys have nice things. Rich people buy rich things. Welcome to the world. And this is what Tom Segura doesn't quite understand. It's not about the things you buy, it's about the person that those things turn you into. And that's why I think people like me are following Shane Gillis's rise with a keen interest. We want him to do well because he's still just one of us. He sits around with his buddies, he has a few drinks, cracks jokes, and he doesn't really care about anything else. He hasn't made that lifestyle his brand. He doesn't have some overly crafted image that he obsesses over, posting his life on social media like all those other guys do. Guys like Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer are basically the Instagram girls of comedy. So at the end of the day, it is possible to be part of the Brogan universe, but just be a normal dude and take it as it comes. Shane's proving that you don't have to become a self-obsessed, narcissistic, walking midlife crisis to make it in the comedy world, even if you are buddies with Joe Rogan. He's the real deal. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this comparison between Bert Kreischer and Shane Gillis. Drop a comment below and let me know what you guys think about all of this. And if you haven't subscribed, consider jumping on board so you get all my uploads in your feed. That's it from me, so I'll catch you guys in the next one.
There are people where you could tell that they're working towards something. They're working towards an angle, and they want to be close to you because you will benefit them. And then there's other people that are just, there's not that many of us, and so we all want to hang out together. Like one of the podcasts I love the most is this podcast I do called Protect Our Parks. It's a thing I do with Ari Shaffir, Shane Gillis, and Mark Norman.
Yeah, that's great.
It's so fun because we just get obliterated and we talk so much.
Yeah.
Like there's conversations after that podcast where I go, hey man, we got to cut that part out.
Yeah.
Because like Shane will go too far, he'll go too crazy, but we're just making each other laugh and it's just fun. And it's like that kind of camaraderie between real comics is very precious to me.